Start by all these things. Number one, register your company, right? And you know very well what is required to register a company in Cameroon. Number two, decide who will work with you. And as you're registering your company, make sure you know who are part of the shareholders. Are you the only shareholder, or are you inviting others to join you? And if that's the case, make sure that you work together. And number three is about respecting compliance. And from a practical perspective, I will use an example of our mothers and fathers that sell in our markets. These parents of ours usually use a yellow book. And in that yellow book, they track everything that they do, expenses and incomes, right? And if you don't have a computer, have a yellow book. We might tend to think that these people are very unsophisticated. But when you look deeper, you will understand that they're using the simplest way to track their accounting without necessarily relying on an accountant, right? And if you don't have money to pay for an accountant, make friends with people that can support you pro bono. Now, the governance structure is very much universal, right? And because we're talking about Cameroon, it's really around making sure that you comply. It's about compliance. And if you go on Google, if you go on YouTube, you'll have access to some of the key elements that are very much relevant for governance. And you will understand that a lot of companies have failed because of lack of governance. And in fact, it's becoming one of the main concerns for investors. So, can we invest in your company if you have not made sure that your governance structure is as compelling as possible, is as compliant as possible? So that's one of the key concerns that the ecosystem, the Pan-African ecosystem is facing right now, or is having. But nevertheless, and I think it's an issue that could be addressed at a very early stage. And as you grow and mature as a startup and as a small and medium-sized enterprise, you now make sure that you're connected to the key resources that will support you in the process of strengthening your governance, because that will matter. If you're going to raise money from an angel investor, from a VC company, or from a bank, or a private equity company, you need to have a strong governance structure. And it's very important.